Hello everyone. You're welcome in our live session in Bookshelf Babble podcast, and I'm your host Evgeny. You're welcome to today's session. I'm happy to you join for our talk today, and it's third talk and third live session for in this year. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to write the comments in chat. I will read chat during the session, and I will answer on your questions. And we can build our conversation like this. But today, as regular, we go to Hello Talk, where we talk with people around the world about books, book life in their countries, and about our favorite books and what we are reading in current moment. Okay, let's go to talk. The regular we go. Okay, I just slightly adjust the camera. Okay. We go to Hello Talk. And I'm start the voice room. My voice room has name What Book Are You Reading? If you want to join, just find this voice room and join to our talk. Okay, and we here. Okay, I just write that I'm streaming this session on YouTube. Okay, we're here, and we just wait when someone join to our talk to talk about books. And I just slightly remind, if you watch this session in any platform, YouTube or Twitch, feel free to write the comments, and I will answer on this on your question. But first question I like to ask: what book are you reading? It will be nice if you write your reading status and write the author and name of the book. What are you reading? Okay. We just wait when someone join, and maybe before we wait, I tell some word about book what I complete. I complete today, but I read on the Russian language this book, not on English. I think it's a very popular book. If you don't know Russian language, this book has name I Am Legend by Richard Madsen. I Am Legend. It's like my reading status. If you want to watch and find this book on Goodreads, it's pretty old book. It's a pretty old novel. First published in 1954, almost around 70 years ago. It was published. It's a sci-fi book about post-apocalyptic world when one man survive and try to live in the world where all another people transform to vampires. And this book just describe how try to survive, how live, they feeling, they emotional hesitation, how they try to live with this. It's very interesting. I read this book before, but and this is the second time when I read this book. And also, I think several years ago it was made the film. This is the same name, I Am Legend, with how it's called this actor Will Smith in the role, but a lot of elements in this film has a relationship and reflection in the book, but the main idea is slightly different. Okay, another word. It's some very interesting book, not so big, around like 200 pages, and I complete almost during the 2 days. Yeah, and also I start to read another book of this author. Okay, maybe I slightly later show the what novel I start to read of this author. This second novel is present in this book too. It's like the second novels. This book contains 2 novels, and second novels I'm start read. Yeah, it's my reading status for current moment. It will be interesting to know if you read this book before or if you watched the film. Yeah. Okay. Some several people appears here, but no one joined. I just like to remind, here we talk about books and all topic related to books, and I'm streaming this session too. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, hey, hello. You're welcome. I'm happy to see you here. Just slightly update what I'm doing now. I still use this voice room to my to recording for my streaming, and as word it not so change. It was as regular. We talk about books here, but I will be try to more constant, more constant and more how it's called. I try to be more regular and make more content related to books, and I just started write some small shots from interesting moments from session and publish in YouTube channel. It's for additional content, because I found that shorts it's very simple to get some more views than regular live session or regular YouTube video. I don't know why, but it's in general, when you publish some shots, it's every time get at least around 100 views. In this case, I just start take some interesting moments with recommendation with book, and present and publish this as the shots from live sessions. It's a short about me. Okay, and also because we wait when someone join to us for today, I want to just do my favorite stuff every year. I mentioned I like to Goodreads. It's a nice platform where you possibly track the books what you read and write the reviews, write the comments and all another stuff related to books. And on this platform, and you can set the reading challenges for each year. And I like to set up how much book I want to read on the next year. To be honest, I almost never reach the goal. In last year, it was around 36 book, and I read during the year around 10 or 12 books. But most of the book was on English. It's in result of this, my reading speed was very slowly. But if you do about current moment, I have some kind of vacation, and I start reading some several book what written on my mother language, Russian and Belarusian, and I pretty fast to complete them. For example, I'm complete a book which has name I'm Legend by Richard Madsen, around like 200 pages during the 2 days. Yeah, because I'm reading in my mother language. I think if I'm reading English, I will be spent maybe 2 weeks for this, even if your books are very interesting. Okay, it's all about like to reading challenges. I want to set the goals for this year, and I want to read. Okay, I just set the goals, and I want to read the 50 books in this year. It's my reading challenge, 50 books. It's not so small. It's a lot of books, but I think I should be just be more consistent, and maybe read more books on the Russian language because it's read more quickly. But also part of the book I will read on the English. Yeah, it's my goals. And if you talk about this year, I complete the 2 books in the first 4 days. First of one, it's I mentioned I'm Legend by Richard Madsen, and the second book is and also in the Russian language, this book has name Candles of Apocalypse by Tatiana Zamirovskaya. It's written on the Russian language. Yeah, and also this author from Belarus. It's one additional light point to read this book. It will be interesting to. Yeah, it was very interesting light reading. Yeah, I complete this book in the first 3 days of this year. In other words, I set for today for this year goals in 50 books, and I complete 2 books on the first 4 days, and I'm slightly proud of this, and I want to just continue this challenge and continue this progress and try to be consistent. Okay, it's about me. What about you guys? What your reading challenge for this year? Do you have some goals, or maybe you have some reading list for this year? It will be nice if you share. Yeah, if you want to talk, just raise your hand. I will add you to conversation. Or if you want, you can write the comment in chat. Yeah, we can make the light talk by chatting. Yeah. I think I have some Christmas vacation. My Christmas vacation starts 24 December, and tomorrow I should be going to work. And as worth around almost 1.5 weeks. And during this Christmas vacation, I read almost 5 books. Yeah, one of them it's on Belarusian language. I cannot find. Maybe I slightly later present and tell some words about this. And 2 another books is sci-fi books on English. One of them I read before. I mentioned several times here. It's Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And if you don't heard about Project Hail Mary, I saw some trailer, and this and film based on this book should be released on next year. And I wait when the film will be released, and maybe I go to the cinema to watch this, because I like first read the book and after watch the film. And the second, I read book of the same author, Andy Weir, and this book has name Artemis. I have the paper variant of this book. It's around almost 300 pages. And yeah, it's very interesting space science fiction, and describe about lunar base and how people build a city on the lunar surface, and it describes some kind of thriller action what happened in this station. It was very interesting reading, and I just focused on the book and complete. I remember in several days, around like 5 or 7 days. Yeah, because book is so very interesting. Yeah, but I complete this book in last year. It's mean I not include in challenge of this year. And if you summarize, and during the Christmas vacation I complete the 5 very interesting books. Yeah, and I really proud myself because I had done this. Yeah, I just want to continue and maybe more focus on to be more consistent. Yeah, it's my result for end of the year and for first days of this year. It will be interesting to know what your reading plans for next year and what book are you reading in current moment. Yeah, feel free to write the comments in chat or just raise a hand to join to conversation. Yeah, it's I think I almost almost all my books from last year it was on English, but I lost several books on the Russian, and it's really different like to feeling when you read the book on mother language. It's very faster, and you can just like to very quickly complete 1, 2, 3 pages without like to back to dictionary. Yeah, it's some very different feeling when you read the book on mother language or in the English. Yeah. Okay, maybe when we wait when someone join to us for today talk, I maybe tell some more words about book Richard Madsen, I Am Legend. I read this book in second time. Yeah, I read it before, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, before the film I Am Legend. Yeah, I was very happy to read again this book, because I remember my previous feeling, and when I read this book again, I just found that this book has very solid sci-fi base, and it's not just about some kind of quick thriller or just to pure sci-fi from start to end. It's some combination of the some interesting plot and the human and to research emotional state of the main character. And a lot of the book it's describe how main character feel in current situation when the whole he is existing don't have a sense. And it's one slightly surprising moment about this book. It was published in 1954, almost 70 years ago, and it's really feel like to actual for today. And as words, you not almost we cannot recognize that book was so written in almost after Second World War. yeah, it's some small moments when, for example, they describe some kind of cars or some kind of I don't know how they get the knowledge, but all another aspect or moments, it's not after date, not so like old. Because, for example, I read some several books of by Stanisław Lem. It's another some very famous Polish writer, and I think Stanisław Lem wrote his book almost in the same time as Richard Madsen, and when he read his book, he feel that this book is so old, because in most of the topic of Stanisław Lem books, it's about like to computer technologies, like to super intelligent or something like this, and he describes the structure of supercomputer on based on some kind of transistors, like to lamps and all stuff what is so very out of date. It's like out of date, it's like the old technologies. And because the book contains a lot of some kind of description, technical description, and this description is so old, and you cannot like to read the book. It's not so very interesting to read this kind of book. But Richard Madsen book, it's slightly different. They don't have reference to the time. In result of this, you can read this book as some actual, yeah. It's like my feeling about this book and about how author like to build the plot. Okay, it just like to small summarize. In this book presents some main plot about vampires and human like to reflection of this situation. It's some kind of combination of the sci-fi base and like to human base, and also one additional moment, and the sci-fi components is present some very is very solid, and he almost very well described some like possible theories how can describe why bacteria and how people behavior. Yeah, it's so very I think it's a very good point what shows this book is some very good quality. I think it's I Am Legend is one of the late famous book of this author, and I'm started to read another book of this author, and I'm reading this book. I just find the name of the book, just a second. And this book okay, I think the correct. I'm reading this book on the on English, but this book has name. This novel has name The Shrinking Man by Richard Madsen. And I was surprised how the main character is so similar for main character from I Am Legend. It almost the same age, and they almost behave the same, and the like to his reflection, his emotion, and his thoughts. It's almost very very like to similar to I Am Legend, my main character. And yeah, I slightly surprised this. And maybe it's just slightly outer style how they describe. They more focus it not just on the plot and the action, but on the main character feeling and reflection of the situation. Yeah, but The Shrinking Man is some very interesting idea too, and also as a previous book, it's out of the time. It's not contain a lot of like reflection to the time. And you can read this book in any time, I think, in the future. And this is good point to show the good and talented writer, because they try to write the book and this book should be out of the time, not like to actual for some specific time point in the time, but it will be actual in many years later. Okay, yeah, it's some kind of feedback about this, about I'm Legend. And also I'm planning to rewatch the film I'm Legend with Will Smith. But if you compare these films, it's contain a lot of to reference to the book, and main character they behave and act in the same decoration, do the same stuff, they live in the same house, they do almost the same stuff, but I think the plot and main idea is slightly different, and why this character stay as a legend, it's so different. In the book, it's because it's the last man of the humanity. In the film, if you correctly remember, because the man who finds a solution against the vampires. Yeah, it's some slightly different understanding and meaning of the word that I'm Legend in film in the book. Whew. Okay. Okay, we just wait. Maybe someone join, maybe someone not join for today. Okay. Maybe okay, when we wait, I just tell some kind of my feedback on the first book of this year, Candles of Apocalypse. But this book, written in English, I'm not sure it will be translated on the Russian, because it's very new book. It was published in 1st January last year, and this book describe. Okay, I just tell the later. We have someone who want to join to us for today talk. Hey, okay. It's so very quickly. Okay, just back. Just back to Candles of Apocalypse. It's a book. I don't remember. It's not first book. It's maybe second or third books of this author, Tatiana Zmirovskaya. It's Belarusian author who live in New York, and she described her to work experience. In this book, he worked in a luxury shop which sells French candles, and these candles are some very specific designer styled. Some candles it's handmade, and in result they're very expensive. And this shop located in Soho, in New York City, and she described what led to some kind of absurd or some strange thing happen in the shop. with her, with like to customers, with her employer, and all stuff around this. And if you talk about time frame where this book action happened, it's some kind of middle of pandemic of COVID. And this main later idea of this book, it's contains some kind of small short stories of interesting situation, but the main plot, it's here like to working experience from start working in this shop and the last day of working in the shop. And I think it's almost is biographical. In other words, I'm not sure she adds something from imagine some situation, just describe in the real situation from the life, but it's very interesting and written very vividly, because I think because it's based on the real life and real situation. I think it's one of the point of this book, and why it's attract my attention, and why I read this book around like 500 pages during these 3 days, and because it's so very interesting. I think it's the main challenge for any author who write. If you not write the situation what you have in your life experience, you should have a very good imagine and very good like to thoughts to correctly describe the situation. And it's more simple when you describe like to real life events. In this case, action happen. It's very like to natural, and many books and many authors they very often contain the self experience. And this book it's a good example. It's looks like very pretty simple, but it's very interesting, because I think it's almost all like to content of the book. It's just real life, and she described it from on the correct point. But if you talk about another author, if you write sci-fi books, a book about like space traveling, all another stuff, you should be very like to careful and very think about each situation and try to put yourself in this condition and try to express your emotion to correctly describe scene. I think it's some biggest and hardest challenge for any writers. In this case, in like to writer experience, it plays a very crucial role, because if you writer have a very broad experience during the life, they describe more different situations more easily, and that's why I understand that you can. I think you should be very talented if you want to write a very deep book on the youngest age, because really you don't have just experience. But if you're in more older age, you have more experience and you can write the more like solid and more, I don't know, fundamental books. Okay, it's just my feedback of this about this book and some thoughts about like to writing experience. Okay, I think it's time for today. As a regular, I try to be around 25 minutes here. Almost no one joined to talk for today, and result of this I just talk about my reading experience, my reading status, and about like to challenge for this year. I will wrap up. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I just remind, if you watch this session in any platform on YouTube or on Twitch, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and write the comments if you have some questions, because feedback is so very important. I will be glad to any feedback from your side. And thank for your time, and thank for watching, and see you next time here in Bookshelf Babble live session. Bye.